Hello everyone, and today we're going to be doing a video about some various cold starts. As you can see, it is negative 17.4 degrees Celsius, and it's kind of been fluctuating, at least as far as this thing goes, between 17 and 18 degrees Celsius below. Look how this thing theoretically is 6 degrees Celsius because that's the temperature inside. Yes, both the heaters are going, that one and the one against the wall there. But as you can see, they're clearly losing the battle. But there is the propane thingy that I've been using on occasion. But anyway, you can see how slow this LCD reacts to stuff. So it's not as slow as I've ever seen it because it's slightly heated in here, but you can see negative 17.5 now. So what do we have in store? Well, first we're going to do engines and such. Then we'll do some computer cold starts. And then we'll do some miscellaneous stuff. And in Fahrenheit, well, I don't know what negative 17.7 is exactly, but it's got to be right around 3 degrees, which is what the 3 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what the thermometer says inside. This has always been reasonably accurate, but it sure is flopping around a lot tonight. But anyway, let's get started. Okay, so the automobile will be test subject number 1 here. That's an idea. Let's see what temperature it might think it is. Anyway, yes, Volkswagen Jetta MK6. It thinks it's 4, and that LCD is not really having a good time. I'm not sure that my gas is actually that low, but let's see. Turn off that. I haven't started this in a while because I don't really have anywhere to go until school starts. Anyway, here it goes. There you go. I don't know if that was a power steering or what, but there is a pump that just kind of made a whir noise that I don't think I've heard before. But yep, it started. It was a little more happy about it than I thought it was gonna be, but yeah, it didn't do too bad, did it? You know, maybe I'm off my rocker a little bit, but if you told me it's not running on all cylinders, I'd believe you. But I just don't see how that's possible. I think it just sounds weird for whatever reason. But yes, it probably has been a couple weeks since I actually started this, but it is in fact running. It's not idling as high as I thought it would be. Oh yes. Camera's decided it's not going to focus. Anyway, moving on. Next up is the Gator. If I can source a key from my pocket without my hand freezing off, that is. My gloves are apparently slightly under-equipped. It doesn't help that I have to keep taking them off. I forget that they're not very great every year. It's a tradition. I certainly have better gloves, but I can't be bothered. This thing kind of lives on a battery charger because I'm not convinced that it has an actual leakage problem, but it discharges fast enough that the occasional sitting for a month that does happen with this thing kind of results in the battery becoming discharged, and its first battery was killed that way. If I could get this darn... Okay, so I don't expect any problems from the battery department with this thing. Fuel is kind of a bit questionable. There's some pretty old gas in here. Some new gas as well, but we will see. Probably would be better to have the lights off. Oh yeah, the fuel gauge is broken. I don't know. That's not even going to be visible, is it? Come on. There you go. It always thinks that there's no fuel. Since a while ago. But anyway. running a little high, which is actually quite unusual for this engine, but well, in the cold it's pretty normal, but it certainly is running. It's whoops. It's a 2-cylinder engine. It makes 45 horsepower maybe. I think this thing itself is capable of going 49 miles an hour, which is probably more of a limit than in the transmission than anything else, because it's just a CVT and probably pretty low range in the grand scheme of things. Though, as equipped, 49 miles an hour is plenty fast when you have no windshield. Especially if I was to take it off today, I'd probably be quite literally an icicle after a few minutes. Oh, it's sounding a little labored. It is still cold. It'll sort itself out. Oh my god. Whoa. Okay, maybe... Okay, you know what? This thing's ECU is really stupid. When the parking brake is on, it won't let itself idle high. See? I disable the parking brake and it's no longer trying to kill itself when it goes above 1200. And all that, it just needed that little bump up above there for a few seconds, and now it seems to be fine. Still let that run for a bit. Okay, the last for the engines, and the lighting is once again not great. This is the John Deere STX38. It hasn't been even enough snow to bother yet, though that's about to change. Still has the mower deck on it, but it is what I use to plow sometimes. I won't lie, I'm not confident about this one. This battery has about, at its last capacity check, 2 amp hours. However, it doesn't self-discharge particularly terribly, and has good cranking amps for that very limited capacity. I don't know what happened to it. It's a AGM battery, but the reason I have it is because it has no capacity. But in the summer, it's always enough. In the winter, it has been, but so it needs to have been run pretty recently, which I did run it a couple days ago because that would be the only way that this would have a fair chance at all. But let's see what happens. I'm gonna have to just let the camera hang because I need both of my hands. Oh. 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 Let's see if I can help it at all. The camera-ness is gonna get even worse, so I hope you like that. Nope. I won't lie, that is pretty disappointing. Obviously, if I use the charger, it would be going in no time. The engine itself I've started in -10, even with the summer oil that's currently in it, because I never bothered changing it. I definitely wouldn't want to use anything less thick, because in the summer this thing needs every bit of thickness that the oil has. But yes, certainly with a better battery, it would do fine, which it used to have a better battery until I killed the one that was in the Gator, and then I stole this one's. But yeah, hopefully the battery isn't dead enough that it's currently freezing. Probably not, but I guess even if it does freeze, it's not much of a loss, is it? Anyway, let's shut this off, move on to the next section, which should be computers. Okay, so this is probably the part that most of the existing subscriber base, if they're watching this, is here for. And then put that in my pocket. VGA cover. We have Presario 1700. I don't think this has ever made it onto YouTube, but it has a very red screen when it's cold, so that's the main reason I'm trying that. And I've just recently moved that one under this canopy, so it probably hasn't affected its temperature that much. Like just a couple minutes ago I did that. And then we have a Dell Dimension 4700. This one particularly because the other Dimension 4700 that I used to have, but no longer have, would not start properly in the cold on the first time. I believe because of capacitors, but the video would get all messed up. But anyway, this is, I got the extension cord over here, all ready to go. Hopefully you can see okay, because I need both my hands to do this, but I'll try my best. Dual smoke test, or perhaps frozen test, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully that's in focus, but I have no control over things. Come on, what's going on? There we go. Heard a little bit of a sizzle there. I don't know if that was just a bad connection or there is some water or something in that, but oh well. It'll only be for a few minutes. I guess we'll start with this one. Oh, this monitor was selected because it has immense coil whine and is known for failing because of bad capacitors. So I want to see. Oh, it turned on. Don't know how well you can see that, but it's very red. Anyway, let's turn on this computer. Hard drive is taking its time spinning up, but that's about it so far. Very red. Hard drive is... I think one of the hard drives just gave up. And the other just can't quite reach the speed. Obviously don't do this to a computer with physical parts that you care about. Whoa. Hard disk failure. Okay, let's give it another attempt. It's turning on again all by itself. Hard drive's almost making it, gosh. Well, maybe we'll give that hard drive a few seconds to warm up. You can see it's... Oh, did it actually detect the drive we want? Let's see. No. Okay, well let's start this one. Its hard drive turned out. That's funny. Apparently something's in the CD drive, but that's just about as red as it usually is when it's cold. But oh my god, that LCD is very slow, unsurprisingly, but we'll give that time to resume into Windows. See about this one. I think that one just shut off. I can't blame it exactly, but... Let me see if I can open this thing's case. Oh no, I cannot. That thing's frozen. But, as you can see, I think it's just a little bit too cold for this one. It's really not having a good time. give this one another chance. It probably just died because hibernation on Windows 9X is not exactly the most stable idea to ever exist. Who knows if I've inadvertently changed the memory in that time. Ooh, that hard drive doesn't sound happy. Nope. Okay, I've left it cooking for a little while. Let's see what happens. I don't know if you can hear the hard drive or not, but you can tell it's really trying. Oh, it made it. I think it... Oh no. Come on, little hard drive. Oh my god, it did it, but it's too late. But I'll try to do the 3-finger salute here. Hopefully keep the hard drive running. I hope it's the correct hard drive because there's theoretically 2 in this system. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's a very off-center Windows 8 logo. Let's see if this actually happens to boot successfully. I'm sure the hard drive is doing okay now, but I do wonder how the very strained capacitors that are surely about this system will be doing. I don't turn on this one again. I don't have high hopes for this because it keeps shutting itself off. It's never going to build heat. Clearly building a little bit of heat is all this one needed, particularly its hard drive, it seems. Yeah, this one's hard drive is not sounding great. I don't know if that's why it's shutting off or if the system itself thinks it's too cold or what. This thing sure is taking an awfully long time to boot, but I don't remember how long it normally takes. It is Windows 8 on a Pentium 4 after all. Oh boy. Sorry about the complete lack of focus that's going on here, but maybe my camera isn't doing so great after all. What's the hard drive like? Well, it's on solid, so potentially the hard drive is struggling a little bit more than I thought it was. Now, how did this thing go into standby? What's that about? What the heck? Oh my god. Okay, let's see. Maybe we just need to auto-adjust here. Oh my god, these things turn on and stay on. Look at what the mouse is doing. Holy cannoli. Oh, it's not sitting properly on something. In fact, the cable may be too stiff now to allow that. Okay, yes, I'd like to not try again with the hibernation. Anyway, Control-Alt-Delete to sign in here. We signed in successfully, so that's something. Look at how slow that is, but it's doing pretty well considering. But hey, it's been running for like multiple moments without dying, so we'll take what we can get. Oh boy, Windows 8 is not happy about this monitor change, or maybe the monitor is just dying. Yeah, it's probably the monitor, because I think it's running in more than 256 colors. Oh wow, apparently this thing was automatically updating Flash Player. That's unfortunate. Oh my god, it booted. Yeah, the mouse is having a great time. Surely I must have speed fan on this thing, right? I want to know the hard drive temperature. Let's take a look at what this one's doing. Oh my god, do you see what happens if I move the cursor too fast? It just kind of disappears and then reappears. Anyway, I'm pretty sure speed fan is on this one. Oh, you know what? I guess that's not the tab that I want, is it? But oh boy, it's not having a good time reading something. Well, while this thing sorts itself out, I'll go get the flash drive. Well, unfortunately, this one's hard drive either does not support temperature monitoring, or it is not reporting it for whatever reason. So we'll just shut that one off. And the abuse. And the abuse to my hands too pretty soon, or they're gonna freeze off. Okay. Let's see. Alt-C 1 Celsius. Wonder if that's legitimately its temperature, or if it just can't report any lower than that. I do know of some hard drives that are capable of reporting lower temperatures for sure. Apparently all those spin retries didn't affect things somehow. Maybe it just forgot. I don't know. But airflow temperature 99. So that must be 100 minus the current temperature. I wonder, maybe negatives aren't possible. But you'd think it would be capable of 0. But anyway, let's shut it off. The moon is very bright tonight. Not that it means anything to the camera, but I can certainly see what I'm doing. But anyway, I believe it is now time to check on these lights that are in here. And oh god, this door has the latch on it. I have to take off my glove and freeze to death. So, missed it, but those motion fluorescent lights turned on. But the main thing in question here is these fluorescent tube things. I don't think I've ever changed a bulb in these, nor has my father, but they're very kind to the bulbs, you know. And is the other one on? Yes, it is. Preheat, man. Inefficient, because apparently the heating filament runs all the time, so I've been told, but they're very cool looking fixtures. Always reliable. While we're on the subject of lighting, you can't see it yet, but I think I've got the camera vaguely pointed at a mercury vapor light, and let's see what happens. I think this is a 4, maybe 500 watt bulb. I don't know how well it should. Yeah, the camera I think is color compensating for how it actually looks, but it was just very pink, and now it's blue. Yeah, the camera just shows it as white. But if you like 60 cycle hum, these things are great. Now it's looking green on the camera. It doesn't look green yet in person. I would assume that the different colors might be the starting gases kind of having a fun time trying to get the actual mercury going. But mercury vapor does kind of, unfortunately, deserve the death that's coming to it, because color rendering is very poor. even though it's not providing much useful light yet. You can't really tell. But I have multiple fixtures and about a zillion bulbs for them, so I plan to put a second mercury vapor on this pillar that you also cannot see over here, but much like this one, just over there, and that should provide pretty good light for this loft. Now you can see, well, it appears more green on the camera. I don't know what's going on. First it was overcorrecting the color, but now it's somehow making the color exaggerated, that the bulb itself still looks pretty white. You can see my breath. Okay, let's see how these lights do. Two fluorescent lights, I think with what you'd call rapid start ballast, wherever the light switch happens to be. There you go, and kind of about what I was expecting. You can kind of see the incandescent mason jar light peeking out there. And other thing, I'm trying to, I don't know if it's going to be cooperative here, but yeah, okay, you can see the little bands there. I forget what exactly that symbolizes, but it's obviously just kind of a pattern in the gas because it's so cold. That one you can see, well, I don't know if you can see. Where the heck is everything on this? Lost track of everything, okay. I don't think it's going to be visible from here on the camera, but one of them's like kind of racing down one tube and then going back at the same speed on the other, and then this one's got one that's pretty much going the same direction, and then the other's kind of running into itself. Great camera work, I know. So that's interesting. But yes, the answer to the question, can you depend on your engines in the cold? Two of them, yes. The lawnmower would have if it had a better battery. And can you depend on your lights in the cold? Yes, it would seem that all of mine were very dependable. And can you depend on these two particular computers in the cold? Not really, but I think only because of the hard drives. Well, actually, this one was doing weird memory problems too, so I don't know. But obviously, when they got to run for even just a couple of minutes, really, they were warm enough by their own heat to actually function. But anyway, if you've watched it through to the end, thank you for watching this video, and if you have any question or comments, please feel free to leave one. And the redness has went away in this one. Well, not red really, but pinkish. And then of course that one was very red. But yes, should you attempt this with your own stuff, do keep in mind that the operating ranges are not completely arbitrary and you could mess something up. And also beware of condensation when you take stuff back inside, if it's electrical anyway, and also beware of your own limits and do not freeze yourself to death. But thank you again for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them, as I think I already said though. But have a good day, or night, or whatever.